In summary, I would like to give a brief on the summary. We talk about process, systems, skills, governance, and technology are very, very important. But the real game changer for being a resilient organization is to build a quality mindset. And that mindset is not built on manuals, on procedure or something. It is more built on practices and the decisions that we do on a day-to-day basis, which comes from leadership. Look at a desert or a forest where a solid tree is standing, correct? And the tree has to overcome the resilience or challenges coming from environment, wind, rain, and everything. The branches and the leaves and the other flowers are all the policies, systems, procedures, technology, etc., etc. The root which holds it strong is the mindset. So mindset is very, very important to be a resilient organization supported by all the governance and process and systems. So that's a short update from my side. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, Muthu, for sharing your experience. Next comes Mr. Sachin Goel. He is a mechanical engineer from Delhi College of Engineering, MBA from MDI Gurgaon, and he also has done his master's in supply chain from MIT USA. He has been a gold medalist all throughout his studies. He has vast experience in multiple sectors, from automobile, chemicals, healthcare, retail, and even BPO. He has worked in Samtel, Visteon, Dell, Jubilant Life Sciences, and for last 14 years, he is working with Ashok Leyland. Currently, he heads a central quality function for all the businesses of Ashok Leyland. He is a Six Sigma Master Belt from Indian Statistical Institute. He has done his black belt from ASQ. Luckily for me, myself and Sachin have worked together for the last 10 years in Ashok Leyland. I can tell you that he is a very committed and passionate leader and focused on transformation. He doesn't look at small changes. He always looks for transformational changes. Looking forward to your sharing your experience, Sachin.
Hi, good afternoon, friends. How's the energy in the room? Looking a little dull? We have seen the marvelous presentation by both the speakers, Mr. Venkat, Mr. Muthu. Can we have a round of applause for both the gentlemen for wonderful presentation? I'm truly humbled here to be at this point of time because of two reasons. One, I'm sharing stage with Mr. Sivanesan, who is actually my quality guru, and I reported him more than 10 years of my career. So most of my quality learnings come from Mr. Sivanesan, who himself holds an astonished career in the field of quality. And also on the audience side, I can see a lot of mentors and gurus sitting who actually have much more experience than me in this field. Mr. Swaminathan and the NIQR team, and thank you very much for inviting me, having me here. So I'll be sharing my views, and I would really appreciate if we can make it a little more interactive, and so we can have a lot of sharing in the room, and everyone, the hall is full till end, and everyone can have a lot of advantage from the conference. So when it comes to resilience, Muthu explained very well, but what comes in the mind? I think first thing comes is pressure, pressure, some outside forces. The other thing comes in the mind, which morning Japanese guru also said, is your inner strength, right? So I think after COVID, we all hearing this word called VUCA. I think we said that it's a black swan event, a lot of changes are happening. But today, I think most of the professional, when we come in the morning with our own to-do list, we see that to-do list, we doesn't get even time to open that. Every morning we have a lot of different challenges, and people say that the professionals are paid for that. So every morning, are we facing those challenges? We'll talk about this, but I think for me, the very simple definition of resilience is that when we exhibit our internal strength, which is greater than the external forces, and we actually can drive those changes which is desirable. There are several examples for this available, be it the business leader or political leaders. We discussed quite a few since morning, but I think why not we learn from the nature itself, where in a tiny beach, when we actually put inside few inches in the sand or the soil, it says that you put me in the dark, but I have a courage to see the brightness of the sun and grow for the future. So I think that's, to me, it's a very wonderful example. And of course, we have so many examples, many of them sitting in the room itself. Let's talk about some of the challenges which we all face day to day. And I think one thing which has changed is the rate of these disruption or those external forces has gone rapidly high. Look at the supply chain. Is it only the Red Sea crisis or the rare earth magnets? So when it comes, what happens to quality? We don't have even time to do the PPAP and so-called all the processes which is laid down. Because finally we have to run the factories. We also need to supply to the customers. Then how do we manage the supply chain? How do we manage the quality which is we promise, which quality leaders we all are responsible for? Operation dynamics, so many changes are happening. I think every minute the lines are producing different models, different products. Operators has to remember which part had to fit at which area, especially I come from a commercial background, which creates even more complexities. How do we manage quality in that area? Look at the rapid technology advancement and the ESG compliance pressure which builds in the system. Is it not focusing and giving a pressure in the system, wherein with all those changes, how do we make product really world class? Look at some more changes. Powertrain. In commercial vehicle, if you see last 50 years were completely dominated by only one fuel, which is diesel. Today, and a little bit CNG. Today, CNG is growing, then ethanol, electricity, hydrogen, so many fuels, and not only so many fuels, but also the biofuels, and so forth, so on. So how do we make a vehicle which actually can run on almost all the fuels, whichever is available on the time? So does it not pose more complexity in the manufacturing? New regulations. I think we did very faster than the Europe, BS4, BS6, BS6A, now we're talking about BS7, passed by engine noise norms. I think every second month ministry coming with new norms, which imposes not only the cost challenge, but also on the quality side. Look at the warranty coverage area. I think BS3, when we were supplying commercial vehicle, we were on 18 months warranty. Then BS4, 4 years, 6 years, now we are talking about 10-year warranty, maybe with EV coming in, maybe the lifetime warranty. Is it not put the huge pressure on the quality? How do we make sure that your components are validated for that much of warranty cycle? You cannot wait 5 years, 6 years to launch that product to really say to management, hey, I'm still validating my product, wait. He said, tomorrow we have to launch the product. So you look at the forces which is happening every day. Similarly, on technology side, I remember 10 years, 15 years back when I did my Six Sigma Black Belt certification, knowing the data analytics was a competitive edge. Today, I think the kind of big data which is available, like in our vehicle itself, we have a telematics device which gives 1 data points every 6 seconds. So trillions tons of data comes every day in our servers. How are we analyzing the data and giving more value to the customer? Huge challenge. At the same time, opportunity as well. Look at the new technologies, which is real systems or digital twins, some of things has been discussed. So if we don't learn and catch up, competition is catching up very quickly. That's another kind of forces of pressure on our systems. Look at the total manufacturing landscape. We're talking about the black factory, dark factory, and so many new concepts. At the same time, fortunately, economy is growing with more than 8%. I'm talking about commercial vehicle. Is it not a pressure on us? Because we need to continuously expand factory over factories. And Ashok Leyland has inaugurated 4 months back, one factory in Andhra Pradesh. After 3 months, we are going to inaugurate another factory in Lucknow. I think we never did so rapidly expansions. Is it not poses a new challenge for us that how do we build that skill in new factories so that it actually, when customer get a product, he should not be able to differentiate it has come from Pantnagar or Hosur or Lucknow. It should be a uniform product. Evolving customer expectations. What was accepted or delighted to all of us 10 years back, today it becomes a basic feature. And customer is looking so many new things. Fortunately, I got a chance to meet a lot of customers in last 6 months time. And what I could see is that initially in commercial vehicle, there was a lot of brand loyalty was there. A guy who's buying Leyland, he will continue to buy Leyland. It may be a problem. Today, those businesses have been taken by their kids. The next generation, they say, whosoever gives them more value, we'll buy for that. Why should we be loyal to Tata or Leyland or any particular brand? So a lot of customer expectation, and what I also realize is most of the customer expectations are not even being stated. So you need to really continuously look at their business and see how and what value can add further on that. Smart manufacturing is one of the solutions which I'm going to propose in my presentation, but I also see this as a challenge. Recently, we were very much obsessed last 2 years to look at a lot of cameras in the line because it detects better than a human being. But recently, I saw one of the engine failure where camera was there, everything was there, still at fault. The part was fit, replaced, and camera was not able to detect properly because there was one condition which we should have thought about when we installed the camera, we missed that. So this itself is a learning curve for all of us, right from going from mechanical poka-yokes to digital and camera poka-yokes. So while we have so many issues, I just want to ask from everyone, do we have such challenges in your factories and your organizations? If yes, I think it's really, I really compliment an IQR to putting this theme, which is very, very apt for this point of time, where India is really looking to get the competitive advantage and improving the exports. Let's look at the very old saying, which we believe we can't change what is going around, but what we can look at is how do we adjust our own sales. And primarily, we all are trying to do same way in our companies, in our factories, but the challenge is about the speed. So just look at a few more examples of India. Dr. Sumantran has built a lot of confidence in the morning when he said that we can do in the past, why can't we in future? And look at when we can do it at a country level, which is one of the most diversified in terms of the culture, people, languages. Look at this UPI transaction, the way it has gone up. Today, we are world number 1 in driving this change, where the number of transactions happening on mobile phone is highest in the world. In the country like us, where the literacy rate is not that encouraging. Look at this entire land data, which used to be a very big problem in land purchase. We purchase a land, we don't know who is the actual owner. Today, the kind of digitization is happening on the land data is tremendous. Even US doesn't have this much. Look at the e-Sanjeevani public health initiative by the central government, where sitting in a remote village of country, we can actually get the best-in-class medical treatment. And the data which is coming up in a short span of time is very encouraging. That's another big transformation. I think this is what we all feel proud, the Operation Sindoor, where we have seen seamless coordination between 3 wings of Army, Navy, and Air Force. But the most important is that the way entire solution was integrated in a most cost-effective manner. And we understand the victory of India in that area. So if you look at these challenges, which we have seen is a great example for resilience, which we have seen at a global level, at a country level, and at a company level itself. So what are the learnings coming from these few examples, which we also can incorporate in our roles in our organizations? While there are many mantras which has been mentioned in these slides, just pick up few. Let's say digital has been talked a lot in the conference, and I think there's a complete new session on that. But are we targeting only digital, or we are looking digital being a customer-centric solutions? So the idea is, how do we leverage technology to address those potential risks? So are we, first of all, identifying those potential risks in advance, and then we using technology to address that? In Ashok Leyland, we have a very structured process which is called enterprise risk management. And fortunately, all the risks which I talked about, we always feel proud in the company that we navigated it much better than other organizations. Just want to bring one data, very nice statistics from the World Economic Forum, which clearly says the skill which was relevant and we used to talk 5 years, 10 years back, is completely going to be changed, especially if you look at the top 2, which is analytical skills and creativity skills, are going to create a very dominant space. If you look at the right side 2x2 metric, and if you look at the top right quadrant, it clearly talks about the skill which was not even discussed earlier, are actually going to be one of the most sought skills going forward. But is it the skill is required only at the working level, or is it also required for the leadership level? So I just try to decode that we also need to look at the quality leader, which was maybe the best app leader 10 years down the line, today's quality leader also need to look at that what changes is required in the leadership skill. If you look at the core of leadership, I believe that the core is still going to remain same, which is being ethical, value, and purpose-driven. At the same time, have a great empathy in the heart. But when you look at the skill set level, I think there's no more time where I can call my EA and we can say, you analyze the data, and I look at the decision. So data literacy, people advocacy, or the business acumen, even inspired be a quality leader, are going to take a front seat. So that's where I feel, and someone says the change starts from the top. So the top actually need to look at this change. And I feel being quality leader, even at this my age, while it gives a little bit nightmare, but we need to really learn these skills to stay relevant in the near future. So 4 areas which I feel being the culture building, when I look at little long-term perspective in my views, has to be driven every day, which is one is the purpose and commitment, which means the long-term vision of the organization. I'm talking about the quality vision. Then the communication. It is very important that we communicate more. The advantage of more communicating more is very important because we are talking about the cultural change. Then agility in the sense that when we're talking about VUCA word and every day we have to take certain decision, how down the line people take your decision? Are they saying that the leadership is bending, we are compromising with the quality? Or we can actually show the data and justify why and what we are doing. And empowerment, the kind of changes which we are doing, of course, the leader cannot control all the decisions. We need to empower down the line, and so that down the line can also look at same theme and take the decisions in the right direction. Look at some of the examples where this resilience has been shown over a period of time. Look at the example of being Apple or Amazon or Tesla, where they were trying some crazy ideas and technologies in last 15, 20 years, and some of the people were laughing on them. Why they're doing it is completely against the wind. But today we clearly see these companies have created a special niche for themselves. And in terms of market cap and all, they are way above the whole market is. So that's another example when we believe something and we continue pursuing on that ideas, how it actually create a long-term differentiations. So while there are a lot of challenges, there are also opportunities. Quality 4.0, now 5.0. It also gives us a lot of data and a lot of analytical tools, which also helps us to take the right decision on time. And the only thing is that it has to be enabled across the organization, and right from leader to everyone should understand how do we analyze this data and take it forward. I would like to take few ideas which I share in the ideologies which I share in my presentation, that how in a humble manner we are trying in Ashok Leyland, and some of the, how the benefit it's coming up. Look at this entire bus body. We have 6 surfaces, and each surface has more than 150 child parts. When I cover this surface with the nice lucrative sheets, you can't even find out whether I put 150 or 140. But how it will impact? It will impact the reliability of the vehicle, reliability of the body. So it's very important, and somebody should count it. But how do we count this? It's very difficult with such a large volume. So we recently established completely AA-based system, where this system helps us that even if one part is less, it will not allow vehicle to be PTS. So we have to make sure that quality of build has to be ensured in the line. Look at data analytics. We have around 42 assembly lines in Ashok Leyland, right from chassis, gearbox, engine, axle, and more than 8 manufacturing plants. So how we ensure? Generally, as a quality head, we look at the average number. What was the defect per month? How we are reducing month over month? But is it good enough, or we need to look at hourly variation, which we have learned in Six Sigma and other analysis. So we have a lot of wonderful data available. What we created is we have created a very nice visual dashboards, which is established in all quality leaders' room, including me. And I can see hourly what is happening in my plants. Do we need to take some actions? Is there any special cause in the system and processes? Look at the supplier performance. More than 800 suppliers are supplying various parts to our assembly lines. So we are as good as our supplier partners. 75% of the parts come from suppliers, which makes the final product to the customers. a very unique initiative which company has started wherein each supplier knows online what is his performance going on. So no bias, no manual intervention, and it gives us seamless communication between the company and the supplier company, and the benefits are multifold. What we observe is we have 4 quadrants of suppliers. Within launch of the supplier dashboard, which is complete open and transparent system, there are 20% suppliers have moved to the top quadrant, which is actually directly benefit to the customers because the part quality has gone to the next level, and finally the vehicle quality will improve. And how it helps us, it's a seamless communication without any intervention. Look at the new one. This is also for supplier, which we call Quality Quest, where we picked up 40 suppliers which are very, very critical for us. And we feel if their quality levels go to world class, it will directly benefit to our product. And direct handholding by our experts, and we visit to the factories, we guide them, coach them, and make sure they build their systems and processes in such a manner so that they deliver world-class quality. And finally, it helps us and it helps the customers. So when we make that agile and we believe that kind of trust with suppliers, partners, entire supply chain, definitely we together is able to handle any change or any outside force in a much better situation. Look at the reliability planning. Any vehicle which we launch, now you will see every automotive maker is launching a lot of vehicles in the market. That's very important to capture even a 0.1% market share. So we do rigorous testing. Earlier we were doing testing, but it's basically what best we can do. Now we have a lot of data available, as I mentioned, and we look at testing in which area we should do testing, what kind of load we need to apply, and so far so on, so that before the vehicle actually go to the customer, we can actually test the vehicle in a much more rigorous condition. And we make sure that the reliability of the vehicle should be good. And when it reaches to the customer should be really happy about it. We can upfront solve those quality problems which customer is going to face in the future. So this is actually helping us a lot, again, building a lot of trust and brand value to the company. Uptime Solution Center is a unique initiative for a company wherein we can actually predict the failures which is going to come. And I can tell you the statistical model which team has developed is 98% accurate. So it means with that great probability, we can find out what issue is going to come so that we can actually call the customer driver, hey, your vehicle is going to be a problem, please park near workshop and we'll fix it. So customer business will not stop because of any quality issue. And I think resilience in quality leadership, we try to figure it out. One of example of the Bhashani, I think some of you would have used, wherein in the country like India, where you speak number of languages and people take transfer from one state to another state and language become a problem, how this software is helping us to really convert in a real-time transformation of the language where we can have a better communication with our colleagues and our customers. So that's another one, which is basically talking about bridge between technology and the real problem. So that's what we actually trying in Ashok Leyland. And this is my last slide. You need to ballot. I think till the time we don't put a spice of politics, we don't enjoy. So you can see today, I think when the NIQR put up this theme, probably this was not that apt as it today, and how the country top leadership is showing the resilient behavior is, I think we all need to appreciate, and we need to support them so that we can actually come true in these tested times. I think it's really nice here in this elite group to share my views. Thank you very much. I understand that we are only one for lunch. Thank you very much.
So we are running short of time. It's time for Q&A. Few questions are, quite a lot of questions are there. I'll pick up few which are common. One question from Mr. Suman Kumar Chaudhary. He is asking, if you do R&D to improve quality, how can we convince customer for increased cost? So who would like to answer this? Muthu?
I think R&D or anything that we do to customers, the focus is what value we are creating to customers, correct? And customers today are willing to pay if there is a value. As simple as it is. If it is not creating any value, there is no point in developing or no point in investing. I think you also touched this point, this one, correct? As long as there is a value, customer will pay for it. So the focus should be on value, and whatever we do, how to create a value. I think that's how we need to look. That's how I see this one.
Okay. The next question is, Arif Nidhi is asking, as a quality leader, you should empower your employees. That's what being said in all the discussion. So by what means I can empower them to invoke quality? It's a very common question. Basically, how do we empower the workman? First of all, you have to remove fear from their mind. Supposing one does a mistake, he has to put a bolt with a washer, he forgot to put. After a minute, he realized that he has forgotten the washer. The vehicle has moved. Now, if he reports to the supervisor, how the supervisor behaves will decide whether the workman is empowered or not empowered.